Hi, I'm Dick Sutphen, and I'm glad you joined me today. And we're going to be talking about a lot of metaphysical things. So I'm glad you joined us, and we'll be right back. Tell me what you received, what you got in this session. I'm seeing a lot of people write a lot of words. Are you wearing some?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See, the travel, I thought there was, like boats that were canals, and there were boats that, like bullet boats, that went with like one jet.
They were high-speed boats of some kind.
Yeah, and they went through the canals.
Okay.
And then I got people going on like those Segway things, only they went above the ground.
Wow. I've seen drawings that people have come back with that are just exactly that.
It's like you put your foot on each motor, and as you press your foot, it goes right there.
Whatever their form of power was.
I saw a healing thing that was like a tank that was like a glass bottom boat. It was like a salt tank that went in the water, and it had, of course, the healing center over it. And the person floated in there, and there was like dolphin sonar that would come through, and there was like a crystal grid on the bottom, and then there was something over it that had like a whole bunch of pinholes, and the light came through there. White light came through there.
Ooh.
And that was a form of tune-up.
Anybody else get anything like that?
Similar.
Did you?
Yeah, very similar in some, like maybe recorded dolphin soundings, but in a saltwater suspension, like a perfectly
Right,
controlled
Yeah, that's just what it was.
suspension thing.
Yeah, in a tank it was.
Yeah.
The person was suspended in the tank. And there was something with harp music too, for him. Harp music.
Yes, did you get something like that too?
Yeah, similar, except for the pool changed colors, depending upon what somebody needed, and it was due to the crystal that
Yes.
was up above. Because my thing, when you told us to go to the healing center, I was already there.
Right.
So I didn't really go anywhere. I just,
So they were using color in the water
Yeah.
by somehow manipulating something.
manipulating the light that comes into the crystal to make the color, the water that different color.
Yeah, I
And
think
then-
crystals were on the bottom and the light came in.
Well,
But
in
you're saying they were on top.
In my experience, what it was it was a huge crystal up above where this dome thing opened, where the light came in,
Right.
and then, but there were also crystals on the bottom. For me, it was a pool.
Yeah.
So it was like, but it
So
was
it's a
huge.
healing pool.
Yeah, it was huge. It was like it felt like it was like almost the size of the building, or a section of the building which faced out towards the ocean. But
So also had the first king of the temple, and the sun came in and reflected, creating the color that was necessary for that particular healing. And the wands that you mentioned we use those to levitate the person onto a crystal chair surrounded by humanoids, and actually the ETs were the dolphins. They were not from here. They are visitors, continue to be visitors.
Okay.
Um,
I know I've seen the wands too, that's why I kind of threw that in.
We had purple gossamer robes and lived in little villages the villages were according to one's role. And the healers lived in a village that was surrounded with flowers and birds and herbs and just perfection.
Right.
Beautiful. And we traveled by crystal empowered, I don't know, kind of like a magic carpet, but not made of material, but maybe some type of little individual.
Well, if they knew how to reverse gravity, I mean, all things like that would be possible, it would seem.
Communication did not require words at all.
Well, you probably tapped into one of those times when they were connected there.
It was a beautiful time, and it was before, I had the sense that there was an awareness of what was happening in the other parts of the continent, but we were still in a space of perhaps innocence or naiveness that we didn't believe that there could be the deceit that followed. And therefore it was like the moment of perfection before. It was beautiful, just absolutely
Thank you.
beautiful.
Anyone else willing to share? What you got? Oh, I've seen you just writing like crazy all around the brain.
I'll share.
Okay.
I was an alien, and I was bright colored, and there were short tentacles coming out from around my little round head, and I was quite beautiful.
Just what you wanted to know today.
Yeah. That explains a lot, actually. And there was some confusion because I was attracted to these plants
Yeah.
that looked like me, but they were plants. And I was irritated because they wouldn't talk to me. And I saw a woman traveling from the depths of the ocean up to what I perceived to be the surface, and she was encompassed in a bubble, but very calm and looking up toward the surface, and that's how she traveled. And similarly, there was also travel beneath the ocean floor. Not in the same kind of bubble, but there was light emitting from the sides of the tunnel, which I kept trying to see if it was the crystal, and maybe it was, but it was a way to get around the earth. It was obviously a tunnel. There was no fear of suffocation or confinement or anything like that.
So did you have gills in addition to the snakes in your hair?
I just don't know about the whole gill thing, but it was very, very interesting.
I'm laughing, but man, I'm not.
I was
judging,
one of those.
please.
That's how I came to be.
Well, let's take a very quick bathroom break, and we'll come right back.
I was like thinking how cool it was, and then I read it. So it's not as good as what definition.
Yeah,
Ways different words.
done that many times.
But I was
Questions, comments, gripes, complaints, moans, groans, anything?
I think like before we do, it'd be nice to talk about it, because I felt like, I didn't know how much was really mine and how much was planted there before.
Yeah.
So like I felt like my own stuff there mixed with kind of what we talked about,
Okay.
kind of mixture.
Yeah, I know it's hard because you go into it stone cold, oftentimes people they can't relate at all. But I think that what you say is very valid. So, okay, we're going to minimize the talking about it, at least in regard to the actual session, okay?
Did anybody, that light stick you were talking about, did anybody say that what it was made of? Because
I don't know.
selenite came to my mind, but selenite's too soft. So I didn't know if maybe selenite was harder then, or
I don't know. I'm not,
it has those strands of light going in it, selenite, it gets long.
I don't know. I experienced once, that I wrote about in the book, where I'm holding it like that to keep people back. People were coming up, and we had to keep them back. And so it was being used as almost, I guess, like a force field or something. Yeah, protection.
Well, that's what Archangel Michael has, a sword made out of selenite that's utilized for protection.
I didn't realize, so
Yeah.
maybe.
But I kept thinking of that because I've been attracted to these long strands of selenite.
Yeah, I don't know about selenite. Anybody else know of selenite?
It's a very
You made up that word.
No, it's really beautiful white long strands, and it has little strands in it that conduct energy and light. But yeah, and then some sort of metal had to be with it. I just thought if someone else had given you any of that, I could gain more insight.
I've got so much information, but it's just on reams of paper and notes that people have made over the years.
There's a Native American elder actually lives in Sedona now. He's from the East Cherokee band, and he uses selenite for healing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cool.
in his healing practice.
Okay.
So he says that it holds energy to go ahead and conduct the other modalities or other things that he uses. That's what he uses selenite
It
for.
holds the energy.
Yes.
Yeah, I use it for healing, but I didn't know I could levitate.
Now you know.
That's never happened.
Put in your next book, memoirs from Atlantis, and you take all your notes from everybody.
Yeah, it'd be good. Too many books to write.
Yeah, get busy.
Yeah.
In your spare time, right?
Thanks. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything about this? Yeah?
I was in a room, and it was very, very cold, and I was wearing a white dress.
Right.
Had very long, wavy, dark hair, and I sat in the center of a circle. And in front of me was that Warby-like thing you would say, but it was in front of the man in front of me. He was a very huge, large person.
Yeah.
And they asked me all kinds of questions that I was supposed to answer. And I wasn't like a healer. I more gave advice and what to do, and I was listened to.
Yeah.
And then I had a feeling I did that every day. I had to sit there for so long. And then I went back to a place, and that was my home. And instead of being around a lot of people or in a village of some sorts,
Right.
I was kind of solitary. And I lived there with someone you would call like your husband or your mate or whatever. And you went into the home, it was white and semi-small, and you felt a feeling like you'd never been loved before you, it was amazing, loving feeling. And there was a deck or a patio of some sort that faced the smell of the ocean. You couldn't quite see it. And the wind would blow and it was really warm. And, I was being held from behind and I had someone's head resting on mine. And they told me, wake up. And I woke up right in the middle of everything. So I was awake. Just woke up in the middle.
Do you have any idea why?
I don't know, they told me. They just told me I needed to wake up. So I did.
God, I can't imagine why they did, but interesting. Wow. Maybe they figured you just had enough. Yeah.
Could that be a death?
I don't know.
Sounds like it could to me.
Yeah.
I saw myself as a Roman centurion, very large man.
Wrong lifetime.
I asked, I said, is this the wrong lifetime? And they said, no, you were a guardian. I had the staff. Because in my mind, I'm like, if I'm a Roman centurion, I'd have a sword. But I had a staff. I had a little thin staff.
Right.
And I had a shield, that went over the heart. And the staff was used to eviscerate people who weren't supposed to be where they were supposed to be. So I was around the city. I was all ready for the whole healer thing, people. This was really cool. And when you asked about the ETs, there was a man that came from Antares who looked just like you. And he was an ambassador, and he came to teach us. When he showed up, everybody paid attention, because he had something important to say.
Wow.
From Antares.
And that is a planetary system? Or? Okay.
Isn't that part of the gateway stars? There's 2 stars,
Yeah, I don't know.
Antares and another one. They're the gateway stars with the Pleiades.
Is it the Pleiades?
I believe so, they're sisters star. Isn't that where the double star came from? Came from Antares, but it's not Pleiades. We had a medium that channeled somebody called Double Star that came from there to teach us. So that's why I know that. They're twin sisters, and there's their gateway to the galaxy of Pleiadian. Just like you.
There's so much data and there's so much strange stuff. I don't doubt you. Yeah, don't doubt that.
So why did they make half animal, half human? I got the ETs did that.
Well, it was spirit people crossing over, and they had their choice. They were experimenting with life form. Casey talks quite a bit about it too.
I got it was for instincts, for testing survival instincts here on this planet or
I
whatever planet.
think that there was a lot of experiment with life form until they figured they got it right. I don't know if they got it right.
Yeah.
But as far as they seem to settle upon one model at least.
One more. Okay. All right.
Gordon Michael Scallion says that it was also, they were used half human, half animal as servants.
That's right.
Oh,
They
okay.
were the laborers. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And that's why that book said at the end. I was just reading this book, somebody Cook wrote it, and there was experiments with animals and humans, and the last sentence of the book was some farmer saying, "I'd really like to get one of those to help run or work on my farm." That was the last sentence.
Yikes. Yeah. But they were experimenting with all sorts of things, just like we are today. Look at the genetic stuff that's going on that we know about, much less what we don't know about.
The book is called Next.
Yeah.
It's Robin Cook.
Connie and I were talking, and we both had the sense that there was like a caste system.
Yeah.
You know, there were people who, you know, if they did healing or astrology, they were revered, and it felt like to me that at some point there was I don't know if it was a misuse or something about the power that they held.
Yes.
That felt uncomfortable to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I thought that was interesting because I didn't really get to see anything other than, you know, because I was asking specific questions about, but it definitely had the feeling that there was a class system there.
Well, I think people were raised to be certain things, and Ruth Montgomery talks about that quite a bit. And so, if for some reason you were just assigned this task, we need more astrologers, we need more healers. Well, you might be lucky to get that, or you might feel that that's very unlucky, that you wanted to be doing something else. But it sounds like in many ways it was a totalitarian
But
operation.
doesn't
Yeah.
Russia do that? They get the gymnasts and they take them young, they make them the gymnasts, and the musicians, they take them,
That's a
yeah.
good way, I guess.
Or China too.
But there are limitations even, like, because, you know, I didn't have a significant other. I couldn't have a significant other.
Oh, really? And that was because you were assigned to do what?
Well, I was in that place I was talking about that had the water and the healing thing, but I had a strong sense I was in love with somebody, but I couldn't be with him.
I did too. I couldn't have anybody either, because I was teaching certain group of things. Yeah,
But it was
Very
also like,
different. The temple of, you know, temple of love, and I take it that was a very nice courthouse.
yeah, no, I think you're
Certain
right.
prostitute or things
No,
like
I
that.
think you're right. I think there was something.
sex
There was a lot of sex, right? Yeah, there was a sacred sex though. There was a sacred sex that was combined with like.
There is sacred sex.
There was a.
I didn't hear that last time. Say it again.
What did you say?
There was a sacred sex too.
Yes.
That went on, and
Yes.
it wasn't.
That's a nice word.
It wasn't.
Kind of mad.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily as we know sex to be. It was something different. But I got the impression that if it was combined with that other, it
Yeah.
was really wowing.
Really? Interesting that we went, I went as like a royal messenger or something, but I went in this pink
Yes.
crystal place. And then I had to have sex with these men, and I was kind of a servant and couldn't do what I wanted to do. And I felt really resentful and very unhappy about the whole thing. And then the other thing, when you
But you
brought
didn't have any choice? Is that it? I mean, you.
it's not,
Going
no,
to-
that was like my role, so I
Yeah.
had to do it, and I found like I was not very happy doing that. And it was about bringing, you know, what came out of that, you know, to the royalty, kind of like the birth of whatever came with these men that were like laying at the bottom of this cave. But then when I did my, my guide or whatever, it was a Roman soldier or whatever, kind of like what you described. I said, are you sure this is Roman or whatever?
Because you do have a past life. I got Roman thing too.
I got the Roman thing too, and I'm like, well, why would I have a Roman soldier?
I was going for the Roman.
The reason I call it Roman, because it was sandals and it was some kind of a skirt thing.
Wound up in an orb.
So, you know, my thought is to go to Rome, but this could have been the very model of what Romans ended
Later
up adopting.
became.
That's
Sure,
good, yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah, considering the difference in time, it'd be more likely to be other way around. Well,
The last thing I just want to say too is I felt like there was something about with being in this role of the sacred prostitute or whatever, there was something about coming from Lemuria too, so that I wasn't actually from Atlantis,
oh, okay.
that I was kind of brought over.
Did anybody get that your role in life was indicated because they did, most of you see, you were wearing, if male or female, togas,
Yeah.
kind of a toga-like, very
Mhm.
light fabric because it was warm where Atlantis was. And that you wore as part of the toga or the robe-like attire, different colors. And that indicated what your position was. So there'd be ribbing or there would be a belt or something that indicated,
Like karate.
you know, you're aquamarine, well, that means you are doing this. Red is
One that
that.
was blue and
The other
green.
thing that was
Just that.
indicative of class was the headpiece.
The headpiece, yes. Yes, I have certainly read that. I've seen that myself, so.
I mean, I think also Atlantis was a whole continent.
Yeah.
And just like now we have continents, there was, it sounds almost like we're mixing up different areas. Because some, and I'm not really like, I'm gonna use the words negative or positive just because we all know what it means, but in parts of the continent is where there was the political struggle, the power, the ego. That's where they were doing the experimentation. They were trying to create a server race and that type of thing.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I hope you'll be back when we're going to be doing future shows. So, until next time, goodbye.